SLG Local is a long-term project. It's going to last for at least 3 years, whereby we'll be bringing existing works from a variety of collections and also commissioning new works to a whole range of different social contexts in the immediate vicinity of the South London Gallery. So on the one hand, there are going to be the presentation of these works, but on the other, it's going to dovetail very neatly with the work that we're doing with residents on local housing estates.
SLG Local is shorthand for a really rich mix of different projects and programmes, taking different approaches, all taking place within walking distance of the South London Gallery.
Having worked with residents of Sow Gardens for the past 3 or more years, we're now extending those relationships into working with another 4 estates. SLG Local is supported by the National Lottery on the one hand in terms of supporting the work we do with children and families on Sow Gardens housing estate and 4 other estates in the local area. And on the other hand by Bloomberg, for whom this really is an important project and the culmination of 10 years' support of the South London Gallery, both within exhibitions in the gallery itself and with off-site projects and working with new audiences. The South London Gallery, as you could guess from its title, is obviously in South London, but it's more specifically, it's on the border between Camberwell and Peckham. So it's right next door to Camberwell College of Art, but on the Peckham Road, Peckham being a very multicultural, vibrant residential area. The South London Gallery's actually got a history that's built up over the past few years of doing occasional, quite ambitious off-site projects rather than having a programme per se. And each time we've made a decision to do something, it's been for a very specific set of reasons. So, for example, when we had a Chris Burden solo show here, we presented his Flying Steamroller, which is a really extraordinary work, outdoors on Chelsea Parade Ground, also opposite Tate Britain, and that was thanks to Bloomberg's support. It was also Bloomberg actually who enabled us to present On Kawara's Reading 1 Million Years piece, which was quite extraordinary because 2 people read from the artist's book of 1 million years, reading out the years consecutively over a period of 7 days, non-stop at the base of Nelson's Column. Most recently, a year and a half ago, we did a project with Yinka Shonabari, which was a huge mural on the side of a tower block in Sow Gardens. And this linked in directly to Yinka's work on the 4th plinth in Trafalgar Square, but had very direct relevance to people living locally, and that there's the biggest overseas Nigerian community in the world living in Peckham on our doorstep.
My history of off-site projects so far at the SLG has been mainly focused on Sow Gardens estate because it's really related to the ongoing work through Making Play that we've been doing with children and families there. Making Play is a project that explored the relationship of children's play to contemporary art. Had a lot of interventions in the public realm that the children worked with alongside artists. And that was an ongoing project, a lot of low-key kind of interventions, a lot of socially engaged practice, if you like.
My name's John McGrath, I'm the chair of the Tenants Association of Sow Gardens. We associate with South London Art Gallery about 4 years ago, and we combined on various projects over the years which have been very successful. Popping into the art gallery, having a cup of tea and a chat and having a look around, and of course the children on the estate love it now because they're into it. Things are looking great for the estate, which it hasn't for many, many years.
Dancing in Peckham's a great work by Gillian Waring, where she's seen dancing to no music in the Aylsham shopping centre in Peckham Rye, which is still there to this day. So it seemed like a perfect work to launch the project, partly, of course, because it's based in Peckham in a recognisable location, but also because Gillian Waring has got her retrospective at the Whitechapel. So it seemed like an interesting thing to show a work that's in the South London Gallery collection in a whole range of different locations. So it's effectively been travelling around the area of Peckham for the duration of the show.
Some of the screenings took place on Wyndham and Comet Estate, where we've been running a long-term project with young people exploring movement in public space through film. So it fitted really well with that. That's an example of these off-site commissions sitting very comfortably on the bed of long-term education work. So that was a really good fit. It's fantastic to showcase all this work by young people at Wyndham and Comet Estate.
Tonight's all about making ourselves stand out and to act like more like Gillian Waring, to actually get into our mind and actually show people what we do. We wanted to build a project where everyone has to dance or perform outside or make it interactive.
I think if it was in a white gallery space, you wouldn't have the same contact with it, I guess. You wouldn't feel so much like you could just be randomly spectating on her dancing. It's somewhere you wouldn't expect it, sort of seeing curtains twitching in the tower block, wondering what's going on.
So there were quite a few people kind of running in front of it, and so then you had this sort of crossover between the shadows of the people who were actually there and the video behind, and I thought that was quite a nice interaction.
And then it kind of toured on to different outdoor locations, including a very rainy Rye Lane in front of Peckham Multiplex.
This is good. It's a nice surprise, isn't it? Yeah, no one's taking them, just walking by doing their normal thing, and she's just there dancing in front of a camera. Yeah.
So it fell to the SLG staff to hand out leaflets in the pouring rain on Peckham Rye, inviting people to come and see Gillian Waring dancing on the side of Peckham Multiplex. Some people came across the work by accident, and then some people have come to see it especially. So again, drawing in really different types of audiences.
The idea of the Curators Club is that it's a discursive environment, so everyone kind of comes together to talk about play, art, and how they can get involved and get artists involved in different projects on their estate. So they've had play workers come and talk to them, we've had different artists present proposals, and there's lots more planned.
Curators Club is a club created for people within the Sow Gardens estate. And obviously South London Gallery to get together.
You had asked us what it was that we thought we would like to hear about. That was quite a nice thing because I think it's forever changing. We'll do something one week and then the next week is totally different.
People that's come along to give us these informal chats and see if anything they can help us with in regards to what we actually do as people who help youngsters to play. If we come back to a place like the Curators Club, we can learn and take things back in and remember and hopefully go back out in our communities and work with what we're again gaining insight into. So that's my reasons for coming, alongside the biscuits and tea and coffee and good company.
The Shop of Possibility is very much a resident and child-led programme, and it does offer different possibilities from the other spaces in the gallery.
I've been working with Sow Gardens for about 3 years, mainly on a project called Making Play, which was based in an old shop unit on the estate, and it housed 6 different artist residencies, each working with the children and families for 6 months at a time, and the last of which was a residency by a group called Fabrique.
The project that we've been involved in at the South London Gallery, the Shop of Possibilities, started as a residency as a part of the Making Play project. We were the 6th of 6 residencies. A lot of the ideas came from us proposing this new idea of borrowing unused objects collecting them if possible from the residents on the site and trying to think if we can literally break them apart and make new curious objects that could generate conversations, but hopefully links also with the stories of these objects. The new Shop of Possibilities is maybe not only bigger in terms of space from the old shop, but also in terms of programme, in that it's going to not only focus on the existing programme of loose parts, borrowing objects, making curious objects, but also it's going to open up to other things such as a curators club and many others. So it's going to be quite dynamic. It will change according to which artists might be working here or what children might want to do. And I think it will keep changing, so I think lots of new things will keep happening.
There's been a lot of anticipation from the kids. Every time I go over to the estate, they always ask me when Saturday Club's going to start again, so I think they're all really, really excited about it, and I actually can't wait for them to see it because they've had so much input into the design, so fingers crossed we've done them justice.